Silence, even, can be uncomfortable. Change can be uncomfortable, isn't it? There are many things in our lives that make us extremely uncomfortable. From something as simple as silence to the major changes that we have made every single day of our lives. But these are things that we need to deal with. So what exactly is it that makes things uncomfortable for us? The key here is the word disruption. Anything at all that disrupts our peace, that disrupts what we consider to be the norm, that disrupts our anticipation, that disrupts our assumption, that disrupts what we are comfortable with, makes things uncomfortable for us. We all have a set comfort zone within which we feel extremely at ease. This is a familiar territory. This is an area of our lives, these are aspects of our lives, these are habits, these are thoughts, these are emotions that have been engineered, conditioned, wired into us so that we become very familiar with them and therefore extremely comfortable with them. But then, as we all know, life is not a constant. The only constant in life, in fact, is change. So every single time that change comes about, we get upset, we get nervous, we get stressed, we get worried, we get uncomfortable. And that prevents us, and that blocks us from trying to pursue anything that's new, that's going to be advantageous for us to go out there and grow ourselves. And one of those things that we are facing in our lives right now is this huge word called technology, isn't it? It's not technology that's making us uncomfortable, in fact. It is the pace at which technology is changing that's making us very uncomfortable. Because if technology were to change once every 10 years, we have enough time to get used to it. But when technology is changing every month, that becomes uncomfortable. If you're a youth student, you're in a good spot. But ask your parents. By the time you got onto Facebook and they started learning it, you were already on Instagram. By the time your parents started getting to Instagram, you were already on Telegram. To your parents, Telegram was something ancient. To you, Telegram is a new thing. Technology is changing in ways that we have never imagined before, but it can be good. However, if we don't get used to it, it can also be extremely disruptive in a negative sense of the way. So my question is this: how do we become comfortably uncomfortable? How do we become comfortably uncomfortable? How do we become comfortable with discomfort? So I have a story to share with you. I've got many stories to share with you. I hope you guys like stories. But one of the stories I want to share with you is I want to bring you back to 1999. 1999 was the year when I was a 15-year-old student. In secondary 3, on the first day of school at the start of the year, on the 3rd of January, I came into school that morning, feeling really, really good about myself, feeling extremely comfortable, without knowing what was about to happen. So just imagine, you're walking into school on the 3rd of January 1999 and you're 15 years old. As you walk into school, you have a sense of peace and calm within you because everything has been planned out really well. It's the first day of school. This is also the day when new students are coming into your school. So there's going to be an assembly session with 200 new students, 300 existing students, 500 people are going to pack the hall, and you have been assigned to be the backstage manager for a production by the drama club in which you are a member of to support them with the logistics. So I was a backstage manager. So imagine yourself to be a backstage manager. Now for the past few weeks, you have worked out what the props are required, what are logistics required, what are costume changes required. You're extremely familiar with what goes where and what needs to be on standby at what point in time, and you are ready. You're ready to go. So you walk into the hall that morning with a big smile on your face, with a little swag given, and you say, hey, you know what, this is going to be a great day. Everything's going to go smooth. But then, you look all around you and all the other drama club members, especially the actors who are supposed to be on stage, they're extremely nervous and stressed. And you ask why. And then somebody comes up to you and says, hey Rahul, have you not heard? No, I have not heard. What happened? Well, the lead actress for the play Snow White is not going to appear because she's sick. So Snow White does not appear that morning. How wonderful, right? You're the backstage manager. You don't care. It's for them to sort out. It's for the actors to go sort it out amongst themselves, right? All that you know is the dress is ready. They're just going to find the actor. The teacher comes in. She handles the news. She starts looking around for the students. She asks all the actors, how many of you here can play Snow White? A few people volunteer, especially the girls. Only the girls. They volunteer, and now the problem is the dress does not fit any one of them. And then the teacher turns around and looks at you. A 15-year-old boy looks at me. A 15-year-old boy. She looks at the dress and she looks at me. She looks at the dress and she looks at me. Uncomfortable? Yes, very uncomfortable. And the next thing she tells you is, Rahul, you are going to be Snow White. Me, Snow White. Imagine. I had hairy legs even at that point in time. I didn't want to be Snow White. But I didn't have a choice. So I asked my teacher, I said, sorry ma'am, how on earth do you expect me to be Snow White? I'll be the mockery of the entire school for the rest of my time here. And I got 2 more years to go. I don't want that. My seniors are going to make fun of me. My peers are going to make fun of me. My juniors are going to make fun of me. I'm going to become a legend in this school in a way that I do not want to be. And my teacher looks at me and tells me this. So, once upon a time, there was another teacher. He went to the science lab one day, and he brought 2 pots and put a Bunsen burner beneath them, and heated up some water in these pots. The pots were the same size, he brought the water to the same temperature, and in one of the pots he put an egg, and the other pot he put a potato. He left both of them there for a few minutes, and at the end of it, he switched both the Bunsen burners off, and he took the egg out, and he took the potato out. The potato became all soft and mushy, and the egg became hard. They were the exact same conditions, but the way they responded to those conditions were very different. While the potato decided to break down under the situation, the egg gained strength and became something better. So he says, well, this is a situation. You got to decide now, do you want to be the potato or do you want to be the egg? What do you think my answer was? But I love potatoes. But that was not the option. I knew what my teacher was getting at. She wanted me to be the egg. She wanted me to find strength in the situation. And then she told me this. She said, no, your assumption that you are going to be the mockery is what's going to make you that mockery. But if you visualize yourself as an actor who can play any role, this is a challenge that you're going to step up to. Because if you can do this, your peers are going to respect you because you took the courage, you had the bravery in you to stand up there, go on the stage, save the day for everyone, put up a good act and performance, and therefore you are a talented actor. It's something that's commendable. The naive me said, okay. So I put on the Snow White's dress, I got on the stage, and I did what Snow White was supposed to do. I lied down on a table. And that was the only thing I did. But at the end of the day, the mere fact that I got onto the stage in a dress, did a female character despite being a male, stretched my comfort zone. The people saw me. At the end of the performance, I got a roaring cheer from my peers, and they all applauded me. Not because I was a fantastic actor, but for a simple fact that I did something that they all imagined could not be done. sometimes you've got to take a step out of that comfort zone. You've got to stretch that comfort zone a bit. You've got to allow yourself to try something that's going to make you feel uneasy and not let the assumptions and the fears and the phobias stop you from doing so. There's a story about how lobsters grow. Every time a lobster grows, the shell becomes too small for it. And it keeps growing within that shell until it gets really uncomfortable now and it starts restricting its growth. Now, if the lobster could choose to go to a doctor, the doctor is probably going to give it some Ventolin to make it a bit more easy, right? But thankfully, lobsters don't have the opportunity to go to a doctor. So what do lobsters do? They find a safe space, they come out of their shells, they let themselves grow, and they find a shell that now fits them. And they do this multiple times over their entire life cycle, which allows them to keep growing and keep finding new shells for themselves. So every time we feel uneasy, every time we feel scared, every time we feel restricted, if our defense mechanisms, if our mindsets are going to keep telling us to, hey, you know what? I do not want to get out of this shell. I want to stay where I am. What's going to happen? It's going to hinder our growth. What we need to start doing if you want to stretch our comfort zones is to let go of that shell, step out of that shell, and find a new shell that's ready for our growth, that's going to facilitate our growth, that's going to allow for our growth. And that's a message for the students. But if you're a parent and a teacher, I have another message for you. How many of you are parents and teachers here? Educators, parents, teachers, youth developers, I've got news for you. There's another story, not about lobsters, about butterflies. A man one day found a butterfly cocoon. Right? He was looking at a butterfly cocoon. He pulled a chair up in front of him. It just so happened to be the day the butterfly was trying to come out of the cocoon and got really fascinated with it. He pulled a chair, he stood in front of the cocoon, and he was just observing it. And what he saw was really fascinating. The little cocoon was opening up, and there was this butterfly that was trying to squeeze its way out, it was trying to rip the cocoon apart. Its wings inside were slowly popping out. It was struggling really hard. It kept getting stuck. It was trying to push its way out and trying to squeeze out the little opening in the cocoon. And it was doing quite well, but suddenly it stopped, almost as if it gave up. And the man waited for a while. He was hoping that this butterfly continues to put in the effort and eventually comes out. He gets to see this transformation of this beautiful, beautiful new being. But sadly, the butterfly did not. It just stopped. And feeling sorry for this butterfly, the man felt compassion and sympathetic. And what did he do? He brought the scissors and he cut off the remaining part of the cocoon to free the butterfly, and out appeared this creature with a swollen body and shriveled wings. And he waited even more. He waited. He was hoping, hope after hope after hope, that his wings would suddenly magically expand and he'll be able to carry its body weight and the butterfly will take flight. But it never happened. The butterfly kept crawling about for the rest of his life. In all that sympathy and compassion and all the good intentions in the world, what the man just did was it interfered in the natural process of growth. That discomfort, that pressure was necessary for the butterfly to push itself out of that opening so that the body fluids gets pushed towards the wings can expand, the body becomes less swollen, and therefore it can now take flight. But because the man interfered in that process, the butterfly never grew the way it was supposed to grow. So if you're a parent and an educator, do not interfere in the natural process of a child's growth or your student's growth. The moment you see difficulty in your child or student's lives, the moment you see them struggling, the moment you see them pausing because of a challenge, encourage them, but don't spoon feed them. Don't take that opportunity away for them to face those challenges and a difficult situation on their own, through which they can get an immense opportunity to learn. Because by doing so, you're not really helping them, although you may intend to, you're really disenabling them. Right? So let them grow. Let them evolve the way that they're supposed. Let them go through a bit of trial and turbulence. Let them go through a bit of pain. Let them go through a bit of challenges and obstacles, because that's only going to strengthen them and prepare them for what's coming up. And that's absolutely necessary and that's essential. So after having talked about me as Snow White, after having talked about lobsters, and after having talked about butterflies, let us understand how that can we consciously put in the effort, all of us, to really expand our comfort zones? There are 3 things that we can do. How many things, guys?
3.
Hello? 3 things that we can do. Number 1, read. Expand your knowledge base. Read as much as you can. For some of us, reading is an alien word. If reading is alien to us, let's start off by audiobooks then. Listen to some audiobooks. That makes life easier. So read or listen to audiobooks. The second thing you want to do is identify people that you can learn from, people who have walked their journey before you. Find good mentors, find good advisors, find good coaches. Because these are the people who are going to be able to share with you wisdom without interfering in your natural process of growth. Find good people that you can learn from, that you can gain wisdom from, because when you see other people stretching their boundaries, it might just inspire you to stretch your own as well. And the third thing you want to do is to try new things. Every single day, make it a point to explore, adventure, experiment with something new. And it can be anything. It could be picking up a new book to read, talking to a stranger. It could be going out to a place you've never seen before. It could be going on a holiday, going traveling, listening to new music, picking up a new musical instrument to play. It could be anything. Try something new every single day so that you just get into the conditioning, the habit of stretching your familiar territories and therefore expanding your comfort zone as well. Right? If you do these 3 things on a daily basis, you will get into a habit, you will get into a routine of stretching your comfort zones eventually. I'm going to leave you with one last thought. A fisher who draws his net too soon is going to have no fishes to sell. A student who closes his book too soon will learn no lessons as well. If you want your learnings to stay, then don't learn too fast. You may walk a mile a day, but you may eventually travel the world at last.